Barbacus Paving is the first one. BARBICAS Paving. $127,915. $127,915. Charles, what was our expected number? Did we have one out there that anybody gave us price wise?
110.
110.
Okay.
Okay. Benner Masonry Contractors out of Manaway. BENNER. $152,951. 152,951. 0 cents. Kavanaugh out of Akron. CAVANAUGH. $139,550. 139,550. 0 cents. McB Paving, MC.B Paving, out of Ashland, Ohio. It's super exciting.
Need my knife?
McB Paving, $108,979. 108,979 and 0 cents.
So they're out of Ashland.
They're Ashland. Parent Asphalt out of Akron. PERRIN. They did the same thing. Parent Asphalt, 122,790. 122,790. 0 cents. Phillips Paving out of I don't know. They don't have their address on the top. They're from Chagrin Falls. $169,725. 169,725. And that is it. We had 6. I'm going to go through them again here real quick. We'll give these to Charles to look through. Barbacus Paving, $127,915. Benner Masonry, $152,951. Kavanaugh, $139,550. McB Paving, $108,979. Parent Asphalt, $122,790. Phillips Paving, $169,725. So I just need a motion to send those to Charles to.
Right, I make that motion to send this packet to Charles for the county to look everything over and see that it meets all the specs that we put out that we wanted.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, Sue,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed. And we just need to close.
Make a motion to adjourn the bid opening.
second.
All in favor, Sue?
Yes,
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. We're closed at 7:51.
okay. I get to do this. Stand and say the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, would you have prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we again thank you for bringing us through 2023, and Lord, looking forward to what you have waiting for us for this year, Lord. We just pray that you continue to keep our crews out there safe and sound, Lord. We appreciate all the work they do, and now this meeting today, Lord, we ask that you just give wisdom where it's needed, have your way in everything that's said and done. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I'd like a roll call vote.
All those in attendance, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
we have a full board. Mike is out of town, so we have 2 out of 3, so we have a quorum.
Do we have any announcements or correspondence that you'd like to share?
Not today.
None? Okay. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Bill Childers. He is the president and CEO of United Way of Portage County, and he brought Dolly Parton with him today. And we're going to give him some time to talk to us and share with us. So, Mr. Childers, you can have my seat. And I'm going to let you
Okay,
go ahead.
okay, thank you. Thank you, trustee Sue Fields. And thanks for having us today. I have been with United Way for about 8 years, and I've been in Portage County for about 32. I worked at the hospital for about 10, and then in the 90s, and then at Coleman for more than 10. And I've been kind of all focused on, kind of bringing, helping people throughout Portage County. And I think it's really important. And as part of that, I've gotten to know Sue and I've gotten to know Nick through the Township Trustee Association. And one of the things we're trying to do is get out and see and meet with every trustee, all 18 townships in the course of about 6 months, so that you all know what we're doing throughout Portage County to help people. And one of the people that I brought a friend with me, Pete Mahoney. And Pete's going to come over and talk a little bit about a couple of things that we do to help veterans, among other things. Pete is a volunteer with United Way. He works with Family Community Services based in Ravenna. He's a retired Kent State athletic department person and a former football coach, and he did coach at Army. So he's familiar with veterans. So Pete Mahoney, take it away.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, everybody. I think there's 2 things I want to touch upon. And number one, I think is really important for you to know. And that is the money that is raised in Portage County through United Way stays in Portage County. There's so many great organizations out there as you get to American Heart Association, multiple sclerosis, all kinds of national programs that are outstanding in their own right. But here, when you donate the United Way, again, it's helping our neighbors. It's neighbors helping neighbors. And that's, I think, the greatest aspect of United Way of Portage County. The other part of it is it helps people of all ages. Bill talks about the veterans. We have Freedom House in Kent. We have Rural House in Ravenna, and so many other support groups for the veterans. Along with the veterans, we have children's. We have children advocacy in Ravenna. And all these programs go and benefit, again, Portage County. So I would encourage you all to pass the word that the money raised by United Way of Portage County stays in Portage County. And I want to thank you for your time this morning. Anybody have any questions for me? Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. And just to kind of reinforce what Pete said, so at United Way, if people who donate to United Way, the money stays here, as he said. We've got just 3 full-time people, 2 part-time people working at United Way. Our administrative cost is about 18%, and we have about 300 volunteers that are engaged in helping United Way. And what we just passed out, as Pete was talking, is a list of our community-funded partners, and you can see that list has 3 kind of headlines: youth education, public health, critical needs. So those are the things that we're most focused on, because we think that if people have better education, access to healthcare, and the critical needs of financial stability, life is a lot better for folks. So that's, and you can see the exact programs and things that we support through that. One of the things that we do support here in Brimfield is the Brimfield Community Cupboard. How many people know the Brimfield Community Cupboard? Raise your hand. Okay, very good. And I know working with Sue Fields, United Way, through special funding that comes to us through the national office, funds a program called Change Hunger, and Brimfield Community Cupboard is part of Change Hunger, and they get funds through that process through United Way. And so that's a big part of what we do, and we're making sure that folks throughout Portage County, it's one of like 12 food pantries throughout Portage County that are helping people, and it just happens to be the one that's right here in Brimfield. And I know, Sue, you've been involved in that. Is there anything we ought to know about Brimfield Community Cupboard that I should be saying besides that?
I think it's just going well, and we're feeding a lot of people. And we would really appreciate if the people in our community would realize that it's there for them.
Yeah, so it's there for folks in Brimfield. And Change Hunger is a great network of food pantries, and Brimfield Community Cupboard has been a real strong partner in that for a couple of decades, as I recall.
Well, I would like to say that the food cupboard originally started in 1979 here for Brimfield, and that they are a charter member of the Change Hunger.
Gotcha. Thank you. So it's been in place for 45 years. I graduated from high school that long ago, so 1979. So at any rate, Brimfield Community Cupboard is a vital partner for United Way. Also here in Brimfield, you have Meyer. How many people have been to Meyer? How many people were happy when Meyer opened? I was thrilled. They gave us $10,000. We already had a reference to the pandemic earlier this morning when I was talking with folks about our meeting here and how it's delayed things. Oh, they were under construction, as you may recall, at Meyer, and they weren't even open. And their corporate office put $4 million into pandemic relief within a week of the announcement of the national health emergency in March of 2020. We got $10,000 immediately from them. It was just remarkable. And they weren't even open, but they through that contribution, we created our COVID emergency relief fund that helped the Brimfield Cupboard. We gave the Brimfield Cupboard, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000, $1,000 at a time over the period of the heart of the pandemic, as we did with a lot of the other food pantries throughout Portage County. The other connections, I did. So you got that the list of folks or programs that we fund. On the back is 211. How many people know 211? 211. Anybody? Okay. So 211 is our. If it's not a 911 call, or you're talking to the police department or the fire department for an emergency, it's a 211 call. So if you don't know the answer to a question and the services and the resources people can access, have them call 211. It's those 3 numbers. And this report tells you how many people called that last year. You can see at the top here at the corner that we had thousands of people connect with us last year. Over 15,000 people were connected, and that's an increase of 38%. Another increase that I did note with Brimfield Community Covered is the last time we were on a call with Change Hunger, the food, the need was going up. It wasn't going down at the present time. So that's another area that we want to be focused and concerned about. But 211 this tells you kind of what gives you a summary of, where the needs are the greatest and that sort of thing. I know, because I've lived in Portage County as 32 years, that zip codes don't tell you everything you need to know. And often folks in Brimfield have a 44240 zip code, which results in that data being put in with the city of Kent. So one of the things you see there, it does obscure things a little bit. We have tried to work with that, but unfortunately, it's the phone extension number, which tends to be a Kent prefix according to the phone people, and then the zip codes, it's just kind of blurry. But what we do know is people throughout Portage County, including here in Brimfield, are accessing what we're doing here with Portage County United Way. You also have in the field local schools. There are 11 school districts in Portage County. Field does run a United Way campaign that supports us because we have a lot of connections with them and they understand their students are getting some benefits through that. And it's the second highest, biggest campaign among all the school districts in Portage County, which we really appreciate. They just kicked off last week. We do read to kindergartners in the Brimfield school district, and we also provide literacy kits, which are a thing that we give to kids before summer's out or before the school year's out for summer, and we're really and those are just a couple of things. We do have more books, and if you know organizations or people that need books, we have them. Sue, how am I doing on time?
3 minutes. You want to tell us about Dolly?
And we're just wrapping up, and now I'll go to Dolly. Thank you, Sue. It's a good segue. Dolly Parton, you may be aware, has this thing called the Imagination Library that she founded because she knows that reading is so critical to folks and to kids, and to be able to learn. And if you can't read, you're not going to succeed in life. And so what she did, she created that, and then our current governors, Mike DeWine and his wife, Fran decided that it would be a great project for every county in Ohio to have a Dolly Parton Imaginary Library affiliate. Oh, there we go. So Dolly, so what they did was so the 3 library systems, including the Portage County District Library, which, congratulations, you now have a library branch again. That's great. And I know that was very exciting for Brimfield to have that open recently. The Portage County Library District, Kent Free, and Reed Memorial, they all came to us and said, would we be the affiliate? And it's great to be the affiliate because you're the one that gets to promote it. It's also interesting to be the affiliate because you're the one that gets to pay for it. So the thing that Dolly's group does, and I'm going to just pass around these books so you can get a sense of what these books look like. These are the books that, and just pass them around. I don't have one for everybody, but you can keep those books. You can get them to somebody. I've got thousands of books, so you tell me where you need books, and I can get them for you. And what those books represent are her foundation's effort to get books out to kids at a very low cost. So those books cost a total of $2.10 to get them mailed to kids throughout Portage County, throughout everywhere in Ohio. How many people have heard of this and have a kid getting them or know a kid getting them? Great. And tell your friends. I left some brochures back there for 211 and Dolly. and we'd be happy to get you more if you need those. So what happens is we register people. So when this started, there were like 300 kids. Well, 300. So it's $2.10 a book. The state, the deal that the governor and the first lady got with the legislature is they'll pay for half of the cost. So it's $1.05 per book per child that we're paying. And so that's great when it's 300. We've now got 4,600 kids registered. So that's $4,600 a month that we're paying to make sure the books get out to kids. The great thing is the Portage County District Library has helped us with 3 donations of $10,000 each over the 3 years that we've been doing this since 2020. So that's been really vital. We're still working on that. Every month we've got to get another $5,000 in to make sure we can pay the bill. But these books, and you'll see there's a little mailing label. This one, these all got returned to us for various reasons, but they're wrapped in cellophane. They got the kid's name on it, and then with the Dolly logo. Those books got returned to us because there's a change. So we find the change, we get it, make it happen, and then the kids continue to get the books. We're allowed to then redistribute these books. It's just easier. So that's the job. How many people, or how many kids get them in Brimfield? This one I do know because I've worked with Portage County Auditor's Office to know exactly where the kids live by jurisdiction, township, village, or city. So anybody want to guess how many kids get them in Brimfield specifically?
122.
A little higher. Anybody got higher?
1,200.
1,200, a little lower. How about 300, 344? I like the fifth guy. Very good. So 344 children are receiving those books right here every month in Brimfield, and we're real happy about that. And thank you very much. If you have any questions.
I have a comment, just because I've never really known this. I don't know if anybody's gone to this 211portage.org, but this might be the most information-packed of any social services, anything that I've ever seen, from electric to housing to food to everything that anybody would ever need
Wow,
is
thank
out
you.
here. I mean, I see on Facebook all the time, you always see somebody asking, oh, what do I do for this? All that stuff's right on here. So if you've never been to 211portage.org.
Yeah,
It's really a cool little site.
yeah, and it'll.
It's very helpful too.
Yeah.
It gives you,
Yeah,
connects you right to all those services, tells you when they're open, tells you how to fill out for it. It's really, really nice.
Portage County Job and Family Services awards us $10,000 a year to help pay for that. We pay $45,000 to United Way Summit and Medina to help staff the dispatch center. They do all that stuff, and then they report back to us and give us our data. But they're professional trained counselors on those phones, and we're happy that people are using them. So thank you. Any other questions or comments, suggestions? Chief, did you know that we had 211 cars distributed to your office?
Yes.
Yeah, good. That was 211 was February 11th, Super Bowl Sunday, and that's kind of an annual day that we celebrate 211. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Here, I'll help you with Dolly.
Okay, I'll let you help me with that. Thank you very much.
And I appreciate you coming down and let us know what a wonderful asset we have in Portage County.
Yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do that, or you've got something focused that you need help with. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, I thank you very much for getting in contact with us and being able to come in today. So let's continue on now with our meeting. And I would like to make a motion that we accept the minutes for review.
We
And I
have two
reviewed
sets
them
of
and
them. We
I-
have,
we
We
have two
have
sets?
a public hearing on the 29th and a special meeting on the 29th. Is that right?
they were on the floor.
It's on the 5th.
On the 5th?
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the 5th of February.
So the first one's the bid opening,
Here you go.
or the bid opening. So Sue, you're making that motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion. The minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't a bid opening though, it was a public hearing, wasn't it?
Public hearing from zoning.
Yeah,
It was, my bad.
so public hearing on the 5th. I'll second that.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wrote it in the wrong spot. All those in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
And also on the 5th, you have a special meeting.
Sue, you want to
I'd
make
make,
that?
I'd make that motion, Nick?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Now, are there any additions, corrections to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
And our purchase orders, I have reviewed all of those and signed them, acknowledged them. So I'd make that motion and we accept that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion
Nick, you want to do
passed.
work?
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept the warrants as presented.
Second.
All in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay. Now we have a session here for public comments and questions. Please state your name and address before addressing the board, and we request a 3-minute limit. Do we have any comments from our audience? Yes, sir.
Hi, Cody Cornier, 3975 Cascade Boulevard, over the Walmart Plaza.
Cody, can you spell your last name? I'm sorry.
HORNYAK.
Thank you.
Opening up a pizzeria, Jack's Pizza over there. So far, my deal with zoning has been wonderful. Fire department, gone good speed, CJ Road's been wonderful. Just wanted to get out here, introduce my face, see if there's anything I can do to help locally. And, get the name out there.
When do you get ready to open?
We were aiming for last Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Portage County Building Department's been rather rough on me. As of right now, I'm in agreement for March 11th. We had our last inspection this Friday. Working with Portage County Health Department, they said we should be able to turn me around about a week, so get some people on there getting trained and go from there.
Did you have to tear all that out? I know they just did how much you were able to save in there.
It seemed like there was a lot of work done without inspections.
Oh.
So some walls stayed up, most of them stayed up. HVAC system, we had to get complete new air balance down in place. It was pretty bad. Fourth stack pressure was still bad. Couldn't open the doors. Get some VFDs and tank control motors installed, but most of it stayed the same. When they had the auction of all the old equipment, it didn't help because those guys came in like scrappers and just ripped stuff out. So dealing with benchmarks as landlord, they've been wonderful. Considering I've been so far pushed back by the Portage County Building Department, they've worked with me and it's been a pleasant experience so far. The amount of people I have that call, email, they're local, wondering what's going on, asking for status updates is great. Feel like the police presence over there is wonderful too. So far in the area, it's been a very pleasant experience.
Well, I thank you very much for coming in, and I can put a name and a face and all that with Jack's Pizza, and when you open, I will be there and partake for sure. One of my
Thank you very
favorites. One of my favorites. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Do we have any safety concerns? Hearing none. Let's start into our section updates with our department heads, beginning with the police department. Chief Mosley?
Yeah, thanks, Sue. Just to start off, I have just a couple of informational updates for the board this morning. Portage County EMA is holding a solar eclipse tabletop exercise next Wednesday. That's going to be at the Portage County Health Department. I'll be in attendance at that. If there's any information that needs to be shared or disseminated to our officials or to the fire department, I'll make sure to bring that information back.
What does that EMA stand for?
Emergency Management Association.
Emergency Management Association. That's just for everybody out there that does it.
So I'll be in attendance to that, so any information we need to disseminate from that, I'll bring that back. So just wanted to make the board aware of that. Secondly, I have an update on the hiring of a new officer. We do have a conditional offer of appointment extended to a candidate currently. That candidate is still enrolled in the police academy and is scheduled to graduate in May, but we are in process with that candidate right now until he gets to the point where he graduates from the academy. So wanted to make you aware that that's an ongoing process for us, but there is a conditional offer out right now. Third informational item is, I may have shared this with the board previously, if so I apologize for being repetitive, but we did add an additional officer to the Metro SWAT team. Russ Deal was recently approved by their board of directors to serve as a crisis negotiator. So he is currently on board the team. And with that, we have 3 officers who are members of that regional team right now.
I know Chris is one, who's the other?
Officer Shannon Stagnol.
Okay.
Beyond that, just a couple of items for board approval this morning, a couple of purchase orders. The first one is approval of a purchase order in the amount of $73,4381 to Sarchone Ford. This is for an engine replacement to our K9 Cruiser, which is a 2018 Ford F-150. And I'll give you a little background on that. We've kind of been in negotiations with Ford for about a year now with ongoing issues with that engine that started. So process started at RJ's. RJ's was communication with Ford about what they felt were some issues with that engine. We communicated back and forth between RJ's to Park Ford to Sarchone Ford. And ultimately, the work was eventually approved to go through Sarchone. Ford agreed to pick up $6,390 of that cost, and with us picking up the remaining $73,4381.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase order of $7,343.81 to Sarchone Ford for engine replacement of the K9 Cruiser.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Second item is I have a purchase order for approval in the amount of $17,945.46 to Akron Uniform. This is for our 2024 officer body armor replacement. Again, additional information with that is the vast majority of this is going to be picked up by grant funding through federal and state sources. So $13,961.80 is going to be coming back to us as grant reimbursement for this. So we just pay the full amount up front to get the grant reimbursement on the backside.
So we get a wash of about $4,000.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that motion for the purchase order in the amount of $17,945.46 to Akron Uniform for the 2024 officer body armor replacement.
Second.
All in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And that's all I have for this morning.
So continuing on, we'll go with the fire department. And many of you don't know at this point that Nick Coy is the liaison to the fire department. So since our chief isn't here today, I'm going to turn it over to him to continue with this section.
Yep, I'll give a quick update. Chief couldn't be here today, was sick, but no old business, new business. They are moving to the new station, so they are operating and living out of there, which is great news. A special thanks to our road crew. Dave, tell your crew thank you so much for helping with that move on getting everything in there. We do have some outstanding punch list items that they're working on. We're discussing that on a bi-weekly as the construction crew is working on phase 2 now. But we're able to get in there, occupy it, and start living out of there, which is good news. We are new firefighters. If you remember, we hired some younger firefighters that didn't have any experience. It was an opportunity to develop them. They've been through the Firefighter Academy. They are now at EMT Basic School. This is week 4 of 6 for them. Upon completion of that, they'll have their EMT Basic. And then there's an opening talk for PD and FD for Asher training scheduled for March 15th. Can you give us a little bit of update on what the Asher is?
Yeah, so it's kind of active shooter response. Really what we're doing is this year, Portage County EMA has selected Brimfield for what they're going to call like basically a quasi full scale exercise. They'll move beyond just tabletop. It'll be an actual exercise and practice. We're partnering with Field local schools. Field High School is going to be the location of our exercise. There'll be a series of meetings that will take place this year between stakeholders here in Brimfield and Portage County EMA, just facilitating the exercise with an approximate target date of late fall, probably sometime in November for the exercise to actually take place.
And that was the update from the fire department.
Okay, thank you. At this time, our next section is our administration offices. And Hollywood is our business manager. So Holly, would you take care of this for us?
So just to let you know, we did receive drawings for review for adding a deck here at the community center. So we'll be bringing that to one of the future board meetings. We do need to get some inspections done on our septic. And then once that's complete, we'll bring to you guys a recommendation for a layout of a deck. The other item, I do need approval to accept the 2024 NOPEC Energize Community Grant in the amount of $22,203.
Okay, so moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
So, and we have no new business at this point. Zoning and
Before we go
economic.
into admin, John, real quick.
Oh.
Do we need to do we have to do anything to get the community grant that we normally get? I don't know if that's you or Cassie. You know which one I'm talking about, Cassie,
Yeah, I've been
We've heard
discussing it
anything?
with Holly and John, and I'm trying to find more information about it, but
Yeah, I don't know if that one's, we'll have to get back to you on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll reach out.
I-
Cassie did reach out to me. I've been corresponding with somebody about this 2024 grant. So I'm gonna ask them about that one for the businesses as well.
Okay, I just want to make sure we don't miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassie was on top of it and we're looking into it.
When I went to the Ohio Township Association conference, first of the month, they said that normal $500 grant that they give to fire departments, they've now increased that to $1,000. So you need to,
Is that the safety equipment grant?
I think that's what they're.
I know Craig's always.
Craig's always
he's
on top of that.
that. Yeah.
So I might check that they did increase that. Okay. At this point, we have the Department of Zoning and Economic Development. So they have no old business, and under new business, I would like Mike Glad to take care of this date we have to set.
Some of the new business is new construction starting in 2024. So far is the DA Center next to Coles. Mike Wolin Engineering is building a new building in Marburg. Sheets on State Route 43. There's going to be 107 condos proposed over on the Kent State property. They're on the Board of Zoning Appeals tonight, actually, for three variances.
What's the cross section here?
You know, it's townhome. They look like townhomes, but they're condos.
Okay.
And then there's 103 apartment homes scheduled to start this spring behind the elementary school. We have a new pharmacy that's signed. I can't release the name yet. It's going to be going in front of the school, the elementary school on 43, which will probably actually delight there and help traffic out. Worco is planning to expand and purchase some land off the old golf course. Kenda Tire is starting this spring. McGuire Park entrance and the parking lot, and Hickory Creek Phase 2. I will need board approval for several public hearings going.
Well, before we hit that, Mike, how many new houses are going in Hickory Creek on the back there? Is that phase
I believe
2
we have,
only?
it's Phase 2, and I believe there's 70,
How many phases are there? Just 2?
just 2.
And how many is in that phase 2?
I think there's 70 doing it.
Okay.
That went up so fast over there. It's almost
Yeah.
complete. Phase 1 is almost done and there's
Yeah.
people live there. I mean, it's,
Those condos on the Kent State property, is that going to be student housing or what's their demographic?
No, I mean, they're actually Ryan home built. They're attached townhomes. They're calling them condos because they're gonna own the roads, they're gonna own everything. It's not gonna be dedicated roads at all.
Okay.
no power.
So they're coming in with a proposal, they're tweaking through the codes. The county doesn't look at this at all. So it doesn't go through regional planning or anything. So what we did is we hired Wolin Engineering to do our engineering reviews for us because the county doesn't look at condos. So he came back with a 3-page engineering punch list type item thing that they need to complete before coming in. But we wanted to make sure the wetlands and the road widths and the pavement thickness and everything was up to date.
So this will be 107 residential units.
Yes, they're gonna be sold. I don't know the price range yet, but I would assume in the 300 range to start. But then we have several board approvals here for public hearing. This, I don't know when you want to hold this in the evening or if you want to do it prior to the next morning, but
Let's pick a,
the first one would be approval needed for trustees to hold a public hearing for text amendment changes the height of structure from 40 feet to 60 feet in the following town center, highway commercial, integrated commercial, light industrial, and highway industrial zoning districts. So I don't know what date you guys are looking at.
today's the 21st, so then. 20
What's been the public response to these?
There was only one that had people come in, that's a number 2. Is the only one that we had some residents come in. For the rest of them, they were like 5-minute to 10-minute public hearings.
Okay.
So we have nothing on the 6th before the trustee meeting, so that's out there. What would you do? You want
Do you
to?
want to do it in the morning or do you want to do it in the evening so that since there's so many of them?
Doesn't matter, whatever you guys want to do.
Well, that's probably what we need to discuss that and see what we want to do. What do you guys think? You want an evening meeting or, there's 5 of them, so if we start at 7:45 in the morning, we would be done very quickly probably. We'd be done by 8, which is prior to the township trustee meeting.
Can we hold all these public hearings at the same time or do you need individual public
I need
hearings?
individual public hearings.
So we gotta do them individually.
Yeah, open one, close one. I would suggest it like 7:15 at least.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do because if you get anybody that comes to talk, you're gonna throw off your whole time frame.
Well, why don't we try to do it in the afternoon or evening or whatever it would be? What date's a workable day? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? If you want to do a Monday or Friday? I don't know what.
Probably Monday or Tuesday works better for us. Do we have zoning on Wednesdays, Thursdays?
Monday, the 4th is wide open for me.
Yeah,
now.
mine too. I'm open on the 4th.
Is that enough time for you? What do we have to advertise
We
for?
have to advertise it.
10 days.
We don't have enough
That
time.
gets us, we advertise today, that gives us 10, 11, 12 days to live.
You'd have to go
No,
into
it's-
the month, yeah.
It's the 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be 12. So we want to do the zoning hearing or the public hearings. Say, what time? 6, 7 at night? What do you think?
Yeah, probably want to do 6,
Well, if we do it at 6, we'll catch the people coming home from work.
right? 6,
And we get it
6:15.
5, then, if you get up at 4:30, a lot of them can't be here. Like this, 6 or 6:30, I
We
think.
do
would be
6
good.
PM, but then we have to do them in intervals. So do we want to do 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, and 7?
You want to do 10 minutes though? I mean,
Or do we want to?
you might not
concern is
have
if you get-
anybody here and then.
Yeah, if you get nobody, then we're sitting, but if you get a bunch of people, then we end up having to cut people off to meet the time frame.
I'd say the second one, give the most time for. Other ones probably could go first, but
Why don't we do this? Can we schedule the number 1, 3, 4, and 5 for 10-minute intervals and then schedule the second one last? That way you have time.
then you have time. Perfect.
So that we don't have to worry about time for that.
Yeah, then you can go as long as you want because there's no deadline per se.
That's fine.
Okay,
So
that
the
sounds
first one will
good.
be at 6 o'clock though.
Yeah. So I think we need individual motions for each of these then.
Okay, so we're going to start with
Number 1.
number 1. So, Nick, you want to go ahead? and
Yep, I'll make a motion to hold a public hearing on March 4th at 6 PM here at the Community Center for approval for text amendment changes to heights of structures from 40 feet to 60 feet in TC, HC, IC, LI, and HI zoning districts.
I will second that.
All those in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next one I have is approval is needed for trustees to hold a public hearing for the proposed map amendment changes, 16 parcels along Mogador Road and Sunnybrook Road from residential office RO to residential R2.
Well, that's number 2.
Let's do
That's
that
the
at
one where we.
So that would be at
More
6:40.
public.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to hold public hearings for proposed map amendment changes on March 4th at 6:40 PM for 16 parcels along Mogador Road and Sunnybrook Road from residential office to residential R2.
Second,
All those in favor, Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And the next one is approval needed for trustees to hold a public hearing for the proposed map amendment changes zoning map and text resolution of 13 parcels along Talmadge Road at Maple Crest Parkway subdivision from general commercial to integrated commercial.
So I'll make a motion to hold a public hearing on March 4th, 6:10 PM here at the Community Center for map amendment changes, changing zoning map and resolution text at 13 parcels along Talmadge Road at Maple Crest Parkway subdivision from general commercial to integrated commercial.
Second,
All those in favor, Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then approval is needed for trustees to hold a public hearing to establish a new parks and recreation district in Brimfield Township.
Make a motion to hold a public hearing on March 4th, 6:20 PM here at the Community Center to establish a Parks and Recreation District in Brimfield Township.
Second,
All those in favor, Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then lastly is approval needed for trustees to hold a public hearing for the zoning text amendment changes. Temporary use permits to add, no temporary use permit shall be issued for a vacant lot.
I'll make a motion to hold a public hearing on March 4th, 6:30 PM here at the Community Center for zoning text amendment changes, resolution section 540.00, temporary use permits to add section D, no temporary use permit shall be issued for a vacant lot.
Second,
All those in favor, Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
That's all, Chris.
Okay, all right, that was good report. Good report. So that concludes our economic development and zoning. Let's continue on to the road department. Mr. Brookner?
All righty. Just want to let the board know, we've been doing a little bit of tree work around our shop. We have some dead trees we're taking down and stuff. We were out coal mixing some potholes we had. We used about 5 ton of coal mix. We removed the cemetery flag box. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know that it was falling apart. You know, we deemed it kind of unsafe. You went to open the lid and wanted to fall off and everything. It's actually falling apart. So it was actually allowing water to get inside. So we decided to remove it. It's sitting back at the cemetery building right now. Holly's in discussion with the Boy Scouts to see what they want to do with it. We got 200 ton of salt in. And we helped the fire department move some of their bigger stuff when they did the move over. And the only other thing I got is I need a board approval. The county's getting ready to hand us over Maple Crest Parkway subdivision, which is Maple Crest Parkway and International Drive roadways. Actually, we already kind of take care of them roads to begin with. It's just the phase they give to us. It's right in front of Hamrick. The new phase of road of Maple Crest was put in last year. That's not part of this yet. So that's still sitting for till December. That has a year maintenance bond on it. So, but the other ones we kind of take care to get the people into their business, just to plow through there and stuff. So, and everything, all the hiccups that were there has been taken care of. They fixed broken sidewalks, this, that. So things, just one of them things are getting ready to turn over some more mileage to us.
Okay.
So, and it only comes out to like 0.2 more of a mile. So,
I would like to make that motion and that we accept
We
the
can put these both. on
Maple
the
Crest
same-
Parkway 0.118 miles and International Drive 0.174 miles.
A second for discussion. So this is going to the county commissioners next.
yes, I have the letter here for you guys to sign to send over to them.
Do you have any concerns with it before we send it?
No,
To the
we're
commissioners?
good.
Okay.
Like I said, we've already been kind of pretty much taking care of the roadway plot wise, to keep the snow off or the businesses back there don't have problems.
They got everything fixed up so that it's.
Those catch basins that were falling apart, they look like they did a bunch of reinforcement on.
Well, but that part's not what we're taking over.
That's kind of that same,
Yeah, that's in that area. What it was is it stopped actually right by the bridge. We're just taking over from the bridge all the way to the ditch.
that's right, the first one's after the bridge. The catch basin that was messed up, was
That's-
past the intersection.
That's past the whole
Yeah,
intersection.
you're right. 24.
Okay, and does that conclude your report?
Yep.
We need a roll call on that.
Yeah.
All those in favor, Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay.
All righty, that concludes me.
Okay, under our Parks and Recreation, we've all been very busy. Thank you very much. Share with us.
Yeah, so I just have some updates for the board today. A summary of what's been going on in January. We had 6 programs and 1 outreach event, which gave us a total of 105 engagements. That includes program participants, people that we've met during events. So we reached 105 people in January, which is really great. Rental totals, we've had 24 community center uses, including 2 paid rentals, 15 internal uses, and 7 nonprofit uses. At the beginning of the month, we attended the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association conference. That was actually 2 conferences. The first was a small agency forum, which is specifically for small parks agencies, which was really nice to meet other people in similar situations to us. And then, we attended the rest of the conference, which we got a lot of great information from. And then I attended my first Stormwater Task Force meeting yesterday. I took Dave's place as the alternate on that, and that was very informational. And then new business updates, playground maintenance. We did a playground inspection last week. We noticed there were some broken pieces, rusted pieces, and we contacted Meyer Design, and they will be, they came out and inspected, and they replaced one piece. And actually, we are missing a piece. Our steering wheel is no longer part of the playground, so we will have to pay to replace that. But everything else they took and fixed and brought back to us. And then they did bring some extra bolts and screws and things too if we need those for the future. And then we will also need to refill our playground mulch. It is getting very low, so I'm getting some quotes for that.
Do we have to do that on the area behind the enclosed shelter house that's not used anymore, those swings and stuff? Is the mulch going there too? 'Cause I know they had the Township Association risk didn't like the fact that we didn't have.
Well, I would like to discuss that with Dave in the near future, what we're gonna do with those.
Because we need to do something. We either need to
Yes.
take them out or we need to get them up to
Yeah.
speed.
Yep.
To what the value does and see if they're worth keeping in there.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
Um,
just an FYI.
Yep. And then Brimfest updates. We're going to be having monthly planning meetings the 3rd Wednesday after the trustee meetings at 10 a.m. here at the community center. And then just the highlights so far, we have all of our food trucks booked. We have 4 bands booked, so we're still looking for a couple more. We've got our face painting, magic show, balloon art, and reptile show, among other things. But yep, and that's where we're at. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How many food trucks do we have coming? Rather have more than less.
Yeah, I think we have 5 booked now.
Okay, sweet.
Does that include the normal concession people that Lynn's or whatever? the
Yes,
is?
that includes them. Yep.
Okay.
So then we have the sausage too and the police. Police
Yes.
still gonna put theirs out? Yes.
Yeah, that did not include the police and fire, so.
Okay.
Mm.
You're adding to that? Dave wants to add roadkill burgers from the road crew.
Okay, that's moving right along here. We have our IT man with us. And I'd like you, Joe, go ahead and tell us what's happening.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the board for allowing me to attend the OTA conference, and specifically Sue for showing me around. And, you know, my first time being down there, it was nice having someone show me the ropes and where all the good food was. And-
We got to
or
meet, we
which-
got to
which
meet a
people to
lot
talk to
of,
to get all the
new
good food.
people. We did.
Yes.
There was what, over 2,000, probably closer to 3,000 people there,
Yeah,
all over the state. It was
it was a
exciting.
very nice event that they put on. So as part of that, I attended some really great conferences, learned a whole lot, and coming out of that, I'm gonna work with Holly to review and update or create some policies to keep us in line with where we should be. I met with a representative from Otarma about cybersecurity and some of the resources they offer that I was not aware of. So that's gonna be really great, that there's a lot of resources that are not necessarily free to us, but because we're a member of Otarma, we have a lot of resources that they will offer us instead of us having to pay for in regards to cybersecurity. So all around, it was really great to get up to speed on resources available to us as a township. And that's what I've got.
Okay, thank you. Under the cemetery, I just want to let you all know that we are in the process of planning the Memorial Day service. And it will start at 8:00 in the morning. And then after that, you can go to the Methodist Church and have breakfast. I think the Boy Scouts put that on. And then at 10:00, you can go down to Suffield for their parade. So we changed it a little bit so that all of us could do all those 3 things instead of just the one.
Worked out well last year when we did that.
Yeah,
It was
it
nice
did.
and getting it up at 8 a.m.
It did. It worked out really well, and I was really pleased with that. So that's all I have to say, and at this time, I'm going to turn it over to John.
and one thing here, too, this was for the,
Oh,
you just have to sign that, that's for the NOPEC.
oh, the
For the-
NOPED grant.
That we just passed.
Let me
Nick,
see.
it's only got a board president one, so Mike would have signed that, but I guess if she's the alternate, she could sign it in behalf. But there's only one signature
One
required.
spot. That's really wonderful that they would give us that $22,000 grant. We'll take it.
From fiscal office, I don't have any action, but I kind of just said FYI where we are. The budget is completed and done and sent off to the county. The appropriation sheets, which need to come to the board, are in the process. I've already met with roads and police. Was gonna meet with Craig yesterday, but he came in all sick, so we were hopefully gonna have that all for this meeting today. Would be done, but as soon as he gets back, we'll get it. But it's just setting the appropriations for the UAN system and looking at the project list that each department has, and like from Dave's perspective, road paving projects and items at police and fire, what we're gonna be doing with those. So that'll be out on the 6th, hopefully, as long as Craig doesn't stay out for 2 weeks, but he's my last piece that I need to fill in. He wanted to meet with his mask on yesterday. I told him to get out of my office, so.
He wanted to stay at work and I told him to go home. I said, don't get anybody sick.
He was coughing as he came in, and I didn't want him in there. So that's where we are with that, but it's all in process.
John, I saw we had a check for an audit. Are they starting the audits back up
They
now?
are. Yes,
Okay,
we're
when are
doing
those supposed to
21 and
start?
22. They just came out the other day to pick up, because usually they would come out to our site and do it, but we don't have any room for anybody to do an audit here, so they're coming to pick boxes up. I think today, actually, they're coming to pick up boxes.
Picking them up, we took them out of our shop to take them down to yours.
Yeah, this morning they were supposed to come by and pick them up, so it's underway.
Okay.
We didn't have an opening conference. We never do have an opening conference, but we'll have an ending conference. They just had to get started on it. But we're doing 21 and 22s. Is what we're
Okay.
doing.
Is it typical that they don't do the opening conference?
Yeah, we've never done an opening one before.
I just want to make sure we have the closing one because we didn't do a closing
Yep.
one last
The
time.
closing one will be out there.
Okay.
So, yes, they just did start, so. Or they're doing it starting today.
Okay. Are they gonna, we'll probably get one of those letters then again too, don't we?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of those just started coming out to get all set up. So they're just starting with it all, so.
Any other thing before we go to executive session? We got to do the good for the order. You want to do that? Good for the, okay, we are going to go into executive session, but before we do that, if any of you have any comments, it's called for the good of the order. And that would be time for you to make your comments. And if you do have any comments, we need your name and your address for our records. That is required by the Ohio Revised Code. They give us rules and laws that we have to cover and operate by, and that's one of them.
Yes, David Keeble from 050 Road in Ohio. This is actually for Mike Glad. I was not notified that there was a new building or construction project going on next to me. Is there a reason that the zoning department doesn't contact you in regards to something like that?
We just announced at the meetings, whatever the new construction is.
You just announced it here, and it's already kind of been in motion then?
Anybody that wants to build a house on a vacant lot, we don't have to notify everybody. It's, they go through the zoning process and that's it.
Is there concerns about lighting, noise, what type of business is going in, things of that nature?
Yeah,
So do you know anything about that?
It's an engineering firm, one building, it's like roughly 4,000 square foot right now.
What type of engineering?
Civil.
Any outdoor storage, anything like
No.
that?
No,
Anything besides the specific building?
not right now, no. Just the parking lot and the building.
Okay, and the offset from the property line is still 100 feet, correct?
Everything met code as he brought it in.
Okay, that's 100 feet from my property line.
I'd have to check that. Yeah,
That's light industrial.
He's so far from your property line, yeah. The new building's going off to the right, says it's like to the right of the property.
So that's going to be to the north side.
Correct.
Okay, anything else coming in?
He might put some other buildings in there and lease them out for office space, but that's a plan in the future.
Okay, concerns, as I mentioned, lighting, noise. As of right now, you don't know what types.
There shouldn't be any noise, it's a civil engineering firm works in an office. They're on card right now. They're in light industrial as it is.
Right. You said that's his building, and you said there was gonna be a few other buildings coming.
Yeah, and I don't know what those would be.
That's what my
Yeah,
concerns are.
I don't have any proposals on that yet.
And as I said, my concern with those new buildings that aren't in writing right now, lighting, noise, things of that nature.
Okay.
So will we be notified of that?
You won't be notified, no, unless there's a Board of Zoning Appeals, for variance, then you would be notified for a variance. I just say, keep an eye on this and we'll keep you posted here. What goes on.
You'll keep me posted here in the
Yeah,
trustee meetings?
I do my updates here.
Okay, yeah, because it's kind of already through the motion that it's being built.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a permitted use, it just comes to my office. If it's a permitted use within the LI district, if it's a conditional permit, then it goes to the Board of Zoning Appeals for approval.
Okay, how long have you known that this building was going to be erected?
About 3 weeks now.
3 weeks.
Okay, any other comments? Yes, sir.
Bill Anderson, 2473 Acorn Avenue. What's our budget for this coming year?
13.4 million across all departments. So it's bigger than it was last year was 12.8, I believe is what it was. So we had a little bit more carryover, more jet expected money that we didn't, that just keeps growing. So as the budget, just as you're writing them down, the budget consists of carryover balances from the prior calendar year, expected taxes, and expected other resources. Those are the three categories that build our budget for that year. So with those three, that's where we're at 13.4 and change. I have it at my office if you need the actual.
When I was down at the conference, it was talked about that the state of Ohio has passed legislation that the state is looking at giving all property owners all over the state a 30% increase in their property taxes. So for my little house, it's going to be an increase of like $550 for next year. It's a state thing. It has nothing to do with Brimfield or the county. It's just strictly from the state. So there hasn't been very much talk going about it. I've been talking to Matt Kelly, our auditor, and I've asked him if he would be interested in doing some township meetings where people can come and they can ask questions, but we haven't, or it hasn't developed that far yet down the road, but that's something to expect.
This is gonna be an additional state tax.
It'll be a state tax, 30%.
Okay.
Yeah. Just forewarn you.
That answer?
Yeah. Has anybody talked or done anything about home rule? I know we had conversations.
We just had conversations. I haven't.
Said we really had to get out to the public and inform the public, and I was just wondering whether anybody had started thinking about informing the public as to whether we can put it on the ballot.
Nope, it's a project that we need to work on, but we're also balancing some other projects right now.
Yeah, it's there's a list. It's on the list, but it's not at the top at this point, Bill, but it is on the list.
Okay, so at this point, you're welcome to stay if you want to stay. But we're going to go into executive session. Do we have one of those papers to read?
We do. So we're going in for that reason, so we're gonna read that, and then.
That's it, you don't need the bottom part.
Okay.
Yeah, just the front page.
So in order to go into executive session, I need to read this.
Yeah, just go, because you can talk.
Okay. This date on February the 21st, Sioux Fields moved to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121-22G for the purpose of considering the following matters. And in our executive session, we are going to discuss compensation of a public employee or official.
You just need a second.
And I will
And
second
then I
that.
have to sign it.
All those in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
We're adjourned at 8:59 in executive session.
No,
Okay,
Okay, and what time is it?
it is 9:23.
9:23, we are reconvening from executive session.
All right, based on our discussion in executive session, I'd like to make a motion to accept a memorandum of understanding between Brimfield Township and the Fraternal Order of Police for a wage adjustment to their collective bargaining agreement, which will be effective March 3rd, 2024.
I'll second that.
All right, for discussion based on this, Chief did some cost comparisons of our collective bargaining agreement with other departments around as part of retention. This is our plan, and this will get us back in line.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor, Sue?
Yes,
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. So if we just sign that, get it back to me, and then we'll get a copy to Roy. And he'll get it signed from their union rep, and we'll be on the way.
at this time, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
We are adjourned at 9:24.